Welcome to I'm From the Internet, a podcast about the internet, its users, and their consequences. I am disgraced comedian Winslow Domain, sitting here with internet historian Jay Brandstetter. Jay, how you doing in that toilet over there that you call a recording studio, which is literally a toilet?
Yeah. Not really much exciting has been happening. Although it seems like you got to do something pretty cool. You got another rat hole update.
Yeah. The New York Institute of Technology, a couple scientists there did some research and determined scientifically that the Chicago rat hole was actually caused by a squirrel and not a rat. So, good for them. It's just one more day in the century of humiliation that is my everyday fucking life. But no, I was interviewed again by a bunch of different people. I have some lines in the New York Times and Washington Post and a few other places where they talk to me about the whole debacle. And as it happens, the actual scientists of that performed the study reached out to me to interview me for the New York Institute of Technology for their socials and for posterity and stuff like that. So they we talked about like internet virality and the some of the story behind it all. Had to make some strenuous clarifications because I'm sure that we've talked about it way too much on this pod already, but there was a lot of the story that was like misreported where like I was there with my friend Haley and Haley said, keep an eye out for the rat hole. And I said, haha, behold, it's a rat hole. And I took a picture and I tweeted it. And then I told every single interviewer, I didn't name this. I didn't create it. It wasn't my idea. Haley showed it to me. And then to simplify the story, they just like the production teams of every subsequent interviewer just like slowly erased her from the story. And like, it ended up making me look real bad. And it's like, I had people in the comments on some of this shit that were just like, another white man stealing the story and stealing the glory from a woman. And I'm like, I literally did everything I could. I have copious messages with these journalists where I'm like, this wasn't me. This was like, it's very frustrating, and I wish it happened differently. But so we talked about that, and we talked about how they did the study, where they took measurements of rats and muskrats and squirrels at all different ages and determined that like because of the length of the forearms and the width of the hips, that it is in fact likely an adult squirrel. And I asked them if the cement stuck to the fur, do you think that squirrel could then stop a bullet, or if this could be like a Two-Face situation where like it starts a second identity where it's like half gargoyle, half squirrel. But we had our fun.
What if those scientists were just fans of you and this was all the long con to get to meet you?
They were in the anatomy lab, so there were like cadavers behind them.
Ooh, awesome. Very fitting.
Yeah. Yeah, they were like very. I was like, yeah, me too. Like, because I recorded upstairs instead of down here, and so I was like, yeah, like I have human remains on the altar behind me. So, I don't know. I feel like I keep seeing people making innocuous comments on the internet and then just getting completely fucking eviscerated, and like a part of that causes my sphincter to clench a little bit. Because I know how scary it is to have an internet mob going after you, because it's not just, they don't just comment on the one post that you make, right? You post something that makes a lot of people mad, they will like email you and message you and like threaten you, right? Especially if you're not a guy. And I keep like doing and saying things on the internet where like, surely people are going to get upset with me. Surely someone's going to be like picking a fight with me. Every once in a while I will. Like I had a Charlie Kirk thing get some people mad. But I'm just like, Do you think anybody's going to mind that I'm talking to the New York Institute of Technology and just being like, hey, I have illegal human remains on an altar that I stole from a church behind me? Does anybody care? You know? Because it's always like you're talking about it so openly, and then the law gets involved, and they're like, oh, well, he talked about it on a podcast. I can't believe he thought he was going to get away with it. But it's like, oh, but people talk about it all the time, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it's a free speech thing. I don't know. Whatever.
Parody.
Yeah, parody. Yeah, this is everything I say is a satire. I'm not real. I'm nobody. Just dust. But yeah, doing things. You've been getting colder. You're still taking the bullet for a walk.
Yeah, Tommy's still doing good. Trying to think about anything else interesting that's been happening around here. Just been nice and quiet.
Yeah. To ease us into this next topic, this is one of my favorite tweets that I just saw come up again from Sabaton Fan 69. Ancient Chinese rap battle, Eastern Wind. My wife is very chaste and humble. Your wife can't carry wood or she stumble. River Fury. Your wife goes to the heavenly rat banquet in a dress made of cheese, and you ask why she's home naked full of fleas. Abacus guy moves one slide to the left. I always thought that was so funny. Ancient Chinese rap battle. Yes. Anyways, we have an episode today that I'm very excited about because this is one of the first topics that I floated when we discussed moving to talking more about the whole of the early internet. And this is something that was around when I was in like 6th, 7th, 8th grade. And I'm trying to think of anybody who isn't my ex-girlfriend who knew about this, that I could be like, hey, remember this guy? Check this out. We wrote a whole thing about it. But yeah, anyways, we are talking today, or Jay is going to, about a little website called Eric Conveys an Emotion.
Yep, it's a fantastic
take it
website.
Away. Yep. Take it away, Jay.
And it just does right what it says on the tin. It's a website about Eric conveying emotions, and we're going to learn all about where it came from and what happened to him. So a big source of this episode I want to say up front is that Eric's friend Robin Lee did an interview in 2020 as a belated 20th anniversary celebration. So almost all the quotes are from that, and I included a link in the document. And here are some pictures of her with Eric when this was done, because they're real life friends. There's him at her wedding.
Yeah, he was never like an unattractive guy, but like, I don't know, the years have been kind to him. He looks
he's really well. He's pretty hunky now.
Yeah, he's pretty hunky. He's got like he's got a good dark beard that, like, I don't know. Looking good, buddy. Proud of you.
Yeah, that is a good segue. Him being attractive is actually one of the things that's going to come up in this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good for him.
Yeah, so the website was called Eric Conveys an Emotion at emotioneric.com. It is still up. You can check it right now. And the creater, Eric...
Really? Okay.
Yeah, it's still up. They haven't updated it since 2008, but it's still live. It looks exactly the same. Yeah.
That's
great.
Fun.
Yeah, and the creator was named Eric Wu, and he was 20 years old when he made this in 1998. He's a fellow Florida child. He was attending the University of Florida. That's the hardest one to get into. So he must have been doing pretty good in school and everything to get there.
I can't tell if that's sarcasm.
No, I'm not.
Yeah,
the way of Florida is like the University of Florida in Tallahassee is like the best one, and then the other ones are kind of like depends on what you want to do after. Like I went to UCF because I couldn't get into UF, and FSU didn't have the science education course I wanted, so it just kind of. But yeah, UF is the one everyone wants to get into, but you have to have like good grades and a good resume and everything to make it.
Okay, what did you go to college for?
Secondary science education was what I went for, and I graduated with a degree in interdisciplinary studies with a minor in education.
Okay. Yeah. I just went for pussy, but sorry, it's just the first thing. Sorry. No, I went for English, psychology, philosophy, which is when I mentioned that, people are like, oh, get a load of this white boy with his useless degree. But, in reality, I use every part of that. I mean, English, psychology, and philosophy, I would not be able to make the game that I'm making now had I not studied literally those three things. So, because, my next game is about Donald Rumsfeld and censorship and mind control and MK Ultra and COINTELPRO and Zersetzung. And you need all that if you wanna want to make it. You need the English, psychology, and philosophy. So, anyways, yeah.
No.
Good for him. Smart guy.
Yeah. And also, it is good to mention at this point that he is Asian American, and this is a time when the English language internet was very white. One of the quotes from Robin's article is that Asian fans emailed Eric to express their gratitude over seeing Asian representation in American pop culture, comedy more specifically, that wasn't stereotyped. We didn't have much in the mid-2000s. Remember William Hung? Yeah.
Yeah. One of the things that I remember, I can think of two of the emotions that he conveyed. One of them was like the killer realizing what he's done, and it's like him. He put the camera down, and it's like you're seeing the backs of his hands because he's looking at the blood on his hands, and he's horrified. And then another one was turning Japanese, which is a reference to some fucking song by some stupid band. I don't know who. We could Google it. Who cares? But I feel dumb and racist for explaining to you this dumb racist thing. But turning Japanese is a reference to the squinty face that you make when you come. And Eric did a version of that where it was like, he's like, obviously I know what you're referring to, but whatever. And like, he just played into it. And I remember even then I was just like, I bet the white boy that submitted this request to him thought it was real fucking funny, and like he kind of begrudgingly did it. I'm sure he got it 10,000 times. But yeah, he's an Asian guy in a very white internet, and I don't know. All I'm saying is that it's good that he ended up doing what he did, and I don't know. Again, fan of the guy.
Yeah, definitely. No, this was not a good time for Asian people in American pop culture. And it was really cool to just see like a guy who was funny that everyone liked. Like on the internet, like when Asian people showed up in comedy, it was at their expense. Like I always think of, the first thing that came to mind, I was thinking that was the, oh, hi, I upgraded your RAM meme, where it's like this very awkward looking kind of mouth breathery nerd leaning over a computer. And the joke is, look at this Asian dude. He's a nerd he's good at technology. Yeah.
It's just a lot of, I mean, like, God, Asian representation on the internet is just so complicated now, and we absolutely need to get an actual Asian person.
Yeah, that is one of the notes I have here. Is we are going to do an episode on the website Japander at some point. When we do that, I'm going to have a guest who is somebody who can actually speak on the experience of being an Asian person online. So that's why we're going to hold that discussion for people who are qualified to make it.
We are getting a white girl who has been to Japan once. But
Fred's been to Japan once. That counts.
Yeah. But yeah, like this, to give you like a TLDR of of a white man's view of Asian culture online is like, we are in this huge anime and Japanese gaming boom. Japanese games are doing crazy well. Anime is bigger than it's ever been. And there's also a big thing happening in Japan right now where there's a lot of migration. There's a lot of new people coming to the country. And so Japan just elected a new prime minister who is apparently like, she likes heavy metal and also is like Margaret Thatcher. She's also like brutally right-wing. And so there's a lot of right-wing gamer guys who are white who will cosplay as being Japanese on the internet because they want to create content for right-wing gamers about how Japan needs to be Japan only and like we need to keep our race pure. And then people will be like, hey, you slipped up here, and here, and you've basically revealed that you are a 22-year-old living with his parents in Britain, and you're pretending to be Japanese. What's up with that? That's not just one thing. That's happened so many times.
Yeah, there's like a whole cottage industry of white dudes pretending to be Chinese dudes on the internet to make China look bad and stuff. It's a whole weird thing.
Yes.
All the Asian women that turn out to be white dudes. It's like the opposite of the white supremacists
or
not
Indian
being white.
Guys. Yeah, like and by God, especially with AI stuff now, like it used to be you would see like, oh, like a really hot chick profile picture, really fucking hot lady, and she's posting like, the white race is A-okay. And then you look through and you're like, okay, she has only ever posted this one picture. But now with AI stuff is like, oh, you can curate. There are there's models on Instagram with 40,000 followers, and like it's the same face in different poses, and like you build like the AI model around a face, even if it's you can start with an anime face, you can start with a pencil drawing of a woman's face, turn it into somewhat real, modify it, edit it, lock that down, and then make that into something so you can see her from multiple angles, and even get short videos of the woman, and then make that your online identity where you're talking about how the white race is A-okay. And all of that is being done by a Indian man in India who's getting paid by Twitter to make white race is A-okay content for the internet. That's what it's like right now.
Yeah.
And this is we're talking about a website from a very different time.
Yeah, like if nothing else, racists are just so boring. They have the one button they can press over and over, and it's all they need. It's like, we get it. You hate this group of people. Like, get them material.
Yeah. I was just thinking, not to go too far off course, but like, I'm sure you've seen it 1,000 times of like, we need a new slur for blankety blank. It's always a white person saying we need a slur for X group of people. And, you know, well, we need a slur for people who use AI. And so everyone's talking about clankers, right? Or whatever. And okay, fine. You want to talk shit about people who use AI. Do whatever you want. I don't give a shit. I'm not making fucking AI card game bullshit, right? But then you start to see white people taking that and fucking running with it, where they're making, you know, reels and TikToks about like, these clankers are stealing our white women. And they're just doing like crazy racist stuff, but taking out one word and putting it in, right? All I'm saying is that I grew up in the 90s and the early 2000s. And that was during a time when you had all sorts of bad words that you could say. I don't say any of them anymore. I obviously understand they're despicable and I don't want to use them. I want a word that I can call someone that hurts them without being racist, sexist, transphobic, xenophobic. There's gotta be a word that cuts to the core with no connotations to problematic stuff.
Yeah, that's the racism laziness. I don't want to use my words. I just want to have the one thing I can say that takes care of everything.
Yeah, just drop the N-word, drop the N-word, drop the N-word.
As someone who is a hater, like, no, using your words is what makes it fun.
Every once in a while, if someone's like rude to me in public, I'll just be like, get a load of this milk drinker over here. Because they don't, like, there's no preloaded thing for that one. I've called somebody a diaper sniffer. It's like a 2-word compound of just like, you know, it sounds like I'm a background character in The Witcher. I was like, oh, get a load of this rat kisser, you know, but, you can get a little bit, sister kisser, you know, there's something else. You can get a little deeper with it. But, yeah, the anger is part of the panoply of human emotions, and it shouldn't be, left aside just because racists have made it stupid. Yeah, keep it all. Find new ways to be mean to people, but do it in an interesting way, because you got to be mean sometimes. That's just how human life works.
Yeah. A really fun way of being mean to people is questions. Like, if someone's being mean to you on the internet, just ask them, like, how many friends do you have that aren't coworkers or family members? And then just watch them vanish.
Oh, buddy.
Or flail.
Buddy. Yeah. I sometimes the question that you ask, and I'm just going to say this, because if I say more, it's going to fuck my life up in a way that I don't want to get into right now. Sometimes all you got to say is just the thing that they just said back to you with a question mark. And then they have to cop to what it feels like to have those things said back to them. And then to like, confirm this, please? Is this what you just said to me? Can you verify this, please? Yeah, I cannot continue on this sentence because I'm pleading the fifth. But questions do it. Questions will make somebody very, very upset with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm the one taking up your time, not the other way around.
Yeah. Look, hey, folks, listen, we're never going to be last podcast on the left. We're never going to be behind the bastards, you know. But one thing that we will give you that those pods don't is brief and terrifying glimpses into the life of the co-hosts. So we'll give you that. You don't know anything about the hosts of either of those shows. You know what they show you. I'm going to tell you stuff that frightens me. So, anyways. What's this about Andy Richter?
Yeah, I didn't actually know this, but the Emotion Eric was inspired by an obscure Andy Richter bit on Late Night with Conan O'Brien, where he would begrudgingly convey emotions that Conan prompted him to do. And this is so obscure, I couldn't find clips of it on YouTube. I found written note of it, but I couldn't get you a picture, unfortunately.
That's really funny because I ran for a few years. I ran a comedy show in Omaha and in Chicago called Joke and Dagger. And the idea, it was a bad idea. I would do it completely differently now. But this is my first foray in putting my whole ass into something. I hand drew this backdrop of a dagger piercing a dagger that was a microphone. And it was being held in front of these two crumbling tablets of the Ten Commandments, and all of these ghosts were coming out. It's based on the cover of Wataine's album Lawless Darkness, I believe is the name. And I had a fog machine and dark lights, and I set up an altar of bones for a comedy show because it's a black mass. And I had incense filling the room. The idea being that before your set, I would give you a couple words that you had to fit into your set so that it would encourage people to write new material. And all of that is based on Conan O'Brien was friends with a baseball announcer who Conan would give him words to sneak into the announcements during Major League Baseball games. And one of them was Jub Jub, which is the name of Patty and Selma's pet iguana. And so you have this baseball announcer is and coming to the pitch, Shohei Ohtani is going to be an incredible game for the Dodgers, Jub Jub, and you just hide the word Jub Jub in his announcements. I thought that was so funny. I'm I have to do this as a comedy show. And I did it for a while, and what you get with any show in comedy, where you have a structure of it's not just going on stage and doing your 10 minutes. You get some people who write their entire set around your suggestion, and some people who would just do their set and read the two phrases and fuck off. And that was so annoying. But there were comedians, I don't know if they're still doing stuff now, who wrote jokes that they continued to use for a while because they wrote a new joke because they were encouraged to do so by the comedy show. And I've done that. I've done structured shows where I got really fun bits out of it because they were all right, you're not Winslow, you're not writing about heartbreak and suicide. You have to write about hot tubs. And I wrote really fun stuff about hot tubs that now I have a better set, So yeah, it's just funny that there's a through line between what Conan was doing and me.
Yeah, no, I was really inspired by Conan when I was young, too. When I was in high school, I used to say I wanted to be a talk show host because I liked Conan a lot. So, yeah. And Eric was actually such a fan of that he made the ironic Andy Richter fan site, andyrichterssucks.com, where the joke is it's presenting the content of a typical fan site, but with the tone and perspective of someone who hates the subject. So I pulled up Andy Richter Sucks. We could alternate reading these news posts if you want. They're quite funny, I think.
Yeah, you kick it off.
I'll start at the top, all right? Andy Richter Sucks. This website is dedicated to belittling the unlittle man who is Conan O'Brien's former sidekick and the current star of Fox sitcom Quintuplets, airing this summer.
May 3rd, 2003. Well, it looks like Andy's NBC pilot fell through. However, his Fox pilot Quintuplets was picked up for 12 episodes and will air this summer beginning June 16th, Wednesdays at 8:30 p.m. It will air right after The Simple Life 2 and will be 5 times as bad.
September 18th, 2003. Network floozy Andy Richter is at it again. First he jumped ship to Fox, then to an unaired pilot on CBS. Now he's stinking up the joint again at NBC. Andy has signed a deal to develop and star in a comedy series next fall. You can see him on the big screen soon in New York Minute, where the all-powerful Olsen twins vanquish him back to the world of television.
Oh, God, that's so... I was worried when you mentioned this, because sometimes these sites will start as a joke, and then... It's like the law of pretending to be an asshole. Yeah. Eventually real assholes will join you. Or what's the quote about pretending to be an idiot? Eventually idiots will find you and think that they're in good company.
Yeah.
And this is written in a way where it's like, it's very clear that they actually don't hate, and I don't know if they're fans, but they don't hate him. But like, especially detailing exactly when his show will be on air, and using the word network floozy and stinking up the place, which is like, I think that I hope Andy Richter saw this and thought it was very funny. It's not as mean as I was worried it would be, because Andy Richter's very funny.
Yeah, there's one other one if you want to read the birthday card he made for Andy Richter's 36th birthday.
Dear Andy, on your 36th birthday, your gift to us is your comedy. If only it came with a return receipt. Happy birthday. Love, everybody. And Canadians. Is he Canadian?
I think. I'm not sure.
I don't know. Who cares? Good on you, Andy. We're fans of you over here.
Yeah. And also, at the time, the show Andy Richter Controls the Universe was out, so the site's tagline is, Control This.
Yeah.
Yeah, onto the main site. Here it is. Eric Conveys an Emotion, still up and unchanged. By my count, he's conveyed 201 emotions.
God, and he still has some pending requests. God, there's some... Oh, boy, there's some old... God, these are always such a time capsule.
Some of these were up when I was in high school when I first found the site. Like, I remember Zestfully Clean. That was always right at the top.
Zestfully Clean, Kleptomaniac, Necrophiliac, which is spelled like 4 different ways wrong. Yoga Fire, whatever the fuck that means.
Necrophiliac is when you can't eat dead people or it gives you indigestion.
Yeah,
it's spelled like celiac.
Necrophiliac, yeah. Okay. So, if for the uninitiated, it is a extremely basic Web 1.0 website, where on the one side you have filled emotions that are different expressions that he's made. Over the top, you have the banner, Eric Conveys an Emotion, with a little circle picture of his face, making some sort of The Rock face.
Yeah.
And then, as all websites had, gobs of information introducing you to the fact that you're on a website. You know, my website has been called Very Retro, but at no point in time is it just like, welcome to winslowdomain.com. I'm glad you could make it. It doesn't tell you what it is. Yeah, there's not a guest book. It's just like, you know what a website is. You know why you're here. That's it. You've clicked a link. You're here.
Yeah. It's great. Yeah. And so when he first made this, the thing I didn't know is that he didn't have a digital camera for the first 3 years he was doing this. The way he'd get his pictures was he had a camcorder and he would film himself and then hook it up to his capture card in his computer and use the video to get images, which, just getting pictures on the internet was a novelty in the 90s. It was very hard. You had to use like a scanner or something. Digital cameras were very rare. It was a whole thing.
Yeah, I thought from what it looked like he was using a webcam, but that's kind of a webcam in a very roundabout way. But yeah, if you want to get deep into the weeds on this one, I think I've mentioned him before. There's a guy on YouTube called Cathode Ray Dude, who I like old technology. This guy is devastatingly boring, but he's very fun. Boring in the sense that, like, I don't know what the fuck he's talking about, but I play his stuff constantly because he has like a really interesting view on like old technology and like the bizarre shortcuts that we were doing to put images on the internet. Very, very cool channel to follow if you're into retro tech.
Definitely agreed, yeah. And so I sort of went through, I got a couple here. So the very first one that he did was Happiness. And there he is, just smiling at us.
There he is, smiling at you.
Yeah, they start out very basic. Happiness, shy.
Very coy,
putting his finger to his lips, like, ooh, anger, which is just angry. I included that one because some of these were used in memes, and I'm always going to remember the anger because that was from the old Leet Flakes Photoshop. Leet, made with a shitload of sugar. Oatmeal is Tissucks. Like, kind of tying in, like,
overclock your breakfast.
Yeah, a little Linux penguin on it. Classic Photoshop.
Yeah.
And so after the first dozen straightforward ones, he started getting sillier and more creative and augmenting them with Photoshop. Like, I don't know, I remember the kill ones. Like,
the emotion called kill is him stabbing a guy in the neck from behind. And it's very dramatic, and he's clearly having the time of his life. And then there's kill 2, where he's helping a man stab himself in the face with a knife.
And he's photoshopped very fake blood onto it. It's very cute.
yeah, that's funny. And like the blur effect is really what seals the deal.
Oh yeah, he does some very masterful use of the blur effect in some of these.
Yeah. Motherly love is him taking a huge bite out of a Cupid doll. Oh, buddy. Oh, I know who I could send this to. I've got a friend named Madeline who I'm sure has seen some of this stuff. Yeah, that's so funny. Yeah. And then drunk is him taking a big old drink from some sort of vodka bottle. But yeah, this is where it started to get into more complicated ones where he has sarcastic respect for authority figures, which is him giving a salute, but his face is just like, yes, sir. It's very just like, sure. And then meditative is just him sitting and he's got like a glowing outline to him sitting on his bed. Yeah.
And that was how it went for the first bit. But then I think what really kicked up was when he added the interactivity. He started letting people submit ideas for emotions to express, because then his interpretations of other people's prompts added a lot to the comedy.
Yes.
It was almost like people were asking him directly, like, if you want to read some of these.
Yeah. I would like to see Eric hurt physically. Preferably he falls down long stairs, like in The Exorcist or something. Then it's like a very grim, dark... Is that a picture of him?
Yeah, it's him in the bottom of the stairs.
Yeah. So it's like him after he's fallen down a flight of stairs. I would like to see the emotion of oops, as in an accident that Eric's caused resulted in the deaths of millions of innocents. And it's just him covering his face. God, there's a book that my dad read. It was basically a book about how this guy dies and finds out that everybody goes to heaven. And it's just like, yeah, well, in the process of dying, all of your sins are burned away, and heaven is just the place where everybody's clean, and that's just what it is forever now. And he ends up interviewing Hitler, and he's just like, all I think that there should be of me in on the earth is just a statue of me that just says, oops. And so this is literally somebody causing the death of millions and just saying oops about it. So it's kind of a literary reference if you think about it in a stupid way.
Yeah, it was requested by Pierre from France, so maybe he's
Pierre from France. Yes, maybe he's literary because he's from France.
Yeah.
Realizing you are really stupid and have a stupid website, and it's just him giving the finger going, yeah, buddy, we'll take a puff off of this.
Yeah, sit and spin, Stuart from Massachusetts.
Sit and spin. And procrastination is just a black photo that just says not finished yet.
Yeah,
that's a classic, you know.
Yeah, I like that. I see this one a lot when I read articles about emotion, Eric, the realizing your hair just caught on fire.
And it's just him cooking a hot dog over his head.
He's licking his lips.
Licking his lips. It's just like, I don't know, like it's so pure. None of this is make one where you're a social justice warrior, you know, or like just some psycho shit where everybody's super polarized. It's just like, you know that, I mean, not to bring it back to AI, but like before AI was killing everybody, when we first had those like crazy micro AI image generator websites where you could put in like Ted Cruz in a trail cam, or like I put in Justin Timberlake in Silent Hill, and you get like these horrifying distorted images of Justin Timberlake in like a screenshot of like a blurry Silent Hill 4. And those were like so weird and crunchy. And like, if that's what AI remained, fine, whatever. Nobody's going to be putting that on their packaging, or nobody's going to be making movies about it. There's no actors and artists that are going to lose their jobs because of these blown out, distorted images. Now, obviously, it's a different thing. But like, it was a hearkening back to like, if you could just have someone make a joke out of any topic, and then you just submit it to them and you see what they do, and it's just such a fun human experience. It's just nice. And now, you know, it's, you know, what people have said is like the people making an AI version of an image that they used to painstakingly make in Photoshop has completely denuded everything. Half of the joke of seeing an insane Photoshop was the fact that somebody took all this time to make that image, you know, and now it's just too easy to make too much, and now it's just kind of slop for the hogs. Yeah,
it sucks. Yeah, his Photoshop is pretty amateurish in a way that is very charming and fun and of the time.
Yes.
Yeah, and a lot of this is surprisingly timeless, but there are a few that are very of the time and a fun, like the snapshot of the pop culture when it was made, like fantasizing about
Ricky Martin. He's holding a very elaborate sci-fi gun and shooting Ricky Martin, and it's just like this kind of pleasant thought bubble for him. And realizing that Dan Quayle is your father, and he's just looking at a potato, looking like, I don't know about this. Yeah, so the Ricky Martin one is a bit of a glimpse back into our collective consciousness at the time.
Yeah,
but
the very like the anti-boy band times, and then also these are kind of like document like headlines and stuff. One of these is finding out his father is Arnold Schwarzenegger, because that was happening at the time. We found out that he had some illegitimate children, so there he is with a big gap in his teeth, like Arnold.
Yeah, it's funny that's the thing that he's like, oh, Arnold Schwarzenegger. The most identifying part about Arnold Schwarzenegger is the gap in his teeth.
Yeah, that's very funny.
Winslow Dumain and Arnold Schwarzenegger shaking hands over the fact that they have gaps in their teeth. And then he has one where he's wearing an absolutely enormous pair of shorts, and it just says, I lost 150 pounds on the Slim Fast diet. I always wonder, with like the Jared Fogels and like the Slim Fast models and all that stuff, where they're wearing these enormous pants, I would imagine that, like, in the 2 years of you losing weight, I mean, would you keep your pants from when you were huge? Or would you, like, after you lost 70 pounds and the pants do not fit you at all, would you just go like, well, I'm not going to keep these around anymore. I don't really need them.
Well, not to toot my own horn, but I did lose 150 pounds, so I do have some experience with this.
Yeah, you tell me. Do you have those pants?
I actually kept one pair of my old clothes just so I could like wear them for comparison pictures. But yeah, like there was an awkward.
That's fun.
Yeah, basically it was like I would just wear them until they were like too big for like even a belt to keep them up, and I'd just like get rid of them and get new ones. But yeah, sometimes they would just kind of pile up because it was just like I didn't want to, in case I needed them. But yeah, eventually I just had a big pile of clothes that were too big for me that I did donate to to a thrift place.
Yeah. Makes me think of my late great friend and former boss, Jay Bach, who is a lovely, lovely man, and was also 600 pounds. And I want to say 6'6", 6'8", big fucking guy, and just super, super funny. And nothing but fond memories of this guy. But I was working in the kitchen, I think, and I mentioned that like, shit, I can't believe I came to work and I forgot my belt, so I had to like take some cordage from some other like wrapping thing and like tie a cinch around my pants to keep my pants from falling down in the kitchen. And Jay just walked by. His name was Jay, I guess, you tragically you're the second Jay in my life. And he just walked by and just said, yeah, I have to buy my pants from Lincoln Tarp and Tent. And it was just such a funny joke, just right out of the gate, just describing like he has to buy his pants from Lincoln Tarp and Tent is just
specificity.
What a lovely
very
guy.
Good, yeah.
Yeah.
And of course, with the dated political jokes, we have the face of erectile dysfunction with Bob Dole on it. Although one thing I do appreciate, he has a very small watermark on the side that says Eric Rule. So the idea of someone like using that in a report or something, the teacher would be like, "Who's Eric?"
Yeah. Hardcore gangster. Okay, so this is funny because where was he based out of? He was in Florida.
Yeah, he was in Florida when he first started.
Okay, because Hardcore Gangsta Eric is him wearing a beanie and he's holding some sort of like clearly cartoon gun.
I think it's the same gun he shot Ricky Martin with.
Yeah, and he's holding up. He's doing a very clumsy West Side gang sign with his hand. I don't know if you can see my. Not that it matters. This is an audio format, but. What's funny about this is that maybe I'm looking at it wrong, but his gangsta outfit is obviously very informed by the 90s, but it's very Hispanic.
Yeah, it looks very because he's got SoCal. He's kind of dressed like a cholo. Yeah,
he's like a barrio guy. He's got the top button at the top of his neck there, and then the rest is open, which is like that is if you pan this down, he's wearing Dickies and tall white socks, and so he's not dressing with big chains and a big white tee with like Gangsta SpongeBob on it. It's just funny to see somebody who hears the word gangsta and they're just like, yes, Latino. Like that's, I don't know. It's just a funny little glimpse when somebody does the not obvious thing.
Oh yeah, and of course, very relevant to this show. He of course someone requested the hamster dance, so he made a hamster dance with his face on some of them. Other ones they're wearing the T-shirt with him on it. Just. Yeah, even back then, internet memes were a thing that people were doing.
Ba-da-dee-da-dee-da-do-do, dee-da-dee-da-do, as they say.
Oh, yeah, you better believe I loved the hamster dance back in the day.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah. And also he started doing adventures, which were these little serialized series of photos with a caption plot beneath them based on things he was doing in real life. Like the first one was him climbing into a cannon and his friend shooting him out of it. I'm assuming he did it when they were visiting some historical site. But, yeah.
I did some of this. I used to do this on Manson USA, and like I think I have one deeply embarrassing post somewhere on something awful that's probably been completely erased, but of like a little photo series that I did, because this was just like it was the style at the time, and like it's still part of my memory, and it's still part of how I think about comedy, of just like a joke. If you don't take a video, if you don't have time to do special effects and you just want one silly scene, just take pictures and tell the story like that, and it can be really fucking funny. And like I did one, I don't know when I did it, but it was just a picture of me holding hand cream and foot cream, and then there's a little dollop of hand cream and foot cream in my hands, and then you see me squeezing it together, and then I took the picture from below and skewed my glasses and like shone a flashlight on my face as if like I had created some sort of, atomic reaction in my hands. And it's like this, it's a 4-panel comic and you don't need words. And so what we're looking at here is a friend is showing Eric a cannon. Eric is crawling inside of it. The friend is lighting a very cartoon fuse. And then it's just a Photoshop of Eric being fired out into the city from a very large cannon.
Yeah.
So
with that wonderful blur effect.
Yeah, very like the little motion blur of it. It's just, I don't know.
Yeah, we didn't have video back then, really. So if you wanted to tell a sequential thing, you had to do it like that.
Yeah, it makes me think of the photo of North Koreans watching Mr. Bean, and they're just fucking having a gas, man. They are loving it. They're just like, it's a guy falling down the stairs and like, sitting on mud and just like doing goofball shit. And not to tie it too full circle, but like that's why the rat hole was so popular in every country that has the internet, is because everywhere's got rats, everywhere's got cement, and we all know what happened. It's environmental storytelling.
Yeah, it's very accessible.
Yeah, it's like the most accessible thing. Yeah.
Yeah. And another thing about these adventures that's fun is they also let him cross over with other web celebrities of the time. Like, here's the brothers Chaps, the guys who make Homestar Runner. They were in this one where they're playing the Videlectrix characters from that, where they're like game developers. And the thing was, Eric was interviewing a job at Videlectrix, and there they are. And they're see how they have like their office painted in the Homestar colors.
That's tight.
Just like a shirt.
God, good for them. Yeah, that's funny.
It'll be fun to do it on them sometime because, Homestar was such a big thing. It's like, probably already plenty of histories on it, but I want to talk about it. That was a fun thing.
I don't know I know 1 or 2 lines, but I never watched it. It was already too big by the time I found out about it, that like, it's like when trying to start a podcast now that's been around for 8 years and you're like, where the fuck do I start?
Ooh, that sounds very fun then, actually getting to explain it to you.
Yeah, I don't know the first thing about it. So I know the cheat and I know light switch raves, and that's it. So,
and another one that showed up was one of the things was teaching emotions to a robot, and there's a cameo from Robot Frank, which was another one of these types of websites I used to read, where it was similar to this, but instead of it being emotioneric, it was a guy in like a cardboard robot costume named Robot Frank, and it would just be him and another robot doing silly little sketches and such.
Yeah, it's just crossover stuff. It used to be more distinct, and now, Drew Gooden will show up in a bunch of other videos with other big YouTubers, or like, Balatro just did a big crossover thing with Vampire Survivors, right? And they are getting music from Keygen Church, which is an awesome band. If you don't listen to them, it is literally... It's just 3 different phonemes that my mouth has trouble pronouncing. Keygen Church. They're great. But yeah, crossovers used to be more of a distinct thing because there were fewer people on the internet.
Yeah, so it was kind of like, oh wow, it was really surprising, yeah. And also about the website is that he never ran ads or made a profit on it. There's no banner ads, it's just the content, which is another reason why it's a good site. And I have a quote here. It says, in 2001, Eric started selling Emotion Eric t-shirts to appease his hungry fans. To appease his aversion to keeping money, he donated all the proceeds to 2 children's hospitals, the Child Life Department at the Medical College of Virginia Hospital, where his sister was working, and the Lucille Packard's Children's Hospital in Palo Alto, California, where he was a volunteer. Canadian graphic designer Ryan Schmidt whipped up some t-shirt designs for free, and with Ryan's designs, the t-shirts were born.
Yeah, good for him.
Yeah, and like at one point, they used the t-shirt money to buy a bunch of toys to give to the Children's Hospital for Christmas, like they were taught for Christmas specifically, and even here's a picture of him and his friends shopping. Like, I love how even like his casual photos with his friends, he's very funny.
What this would be now is like a reel where they do the joke 6 different times and it's less funny every time. But what it is here is like they needed to get the entire tableau in a single shot, so they have these guys, very beleaguered, very unhappy men pushing shopping carts packed with toys from Toys R Us, and Eric is holding a big cartoon whip while making them work.
Now, even better, I think that's a rubber snake he's using as a whip.
Oh, he's using it. So he's doing a Paul Bunyan. I get it. Yeah, less problematic that way.
Yeah, I don't think they sell many whips at Toys R Us these days.
No, not anymore.
Yeah, and he says they weren't expecting the toys, and also they didn't care because they get donations all the time. I didn't tell them what the story was. To them, it was just, oh, here's another company giving us donations.
Okay, well, fair enough.
Cute detail, yeah.
Yeah.
And we don't have to read these articles, but this was big enough to get coverage all over the place. Like I found like Tech TV covered it, Yahoo. It was a Yahoo pick in 2003. It had a lot of print media coverage, but I wasn't able to pull it up because these were all newspapers and magazines that don't have public archives. So I was able to find one of his emotions that referred to it, though.
Yeah, this is funny because this is kind of where I am at now with rat hole stuff. And it's just Eric, after hearing that his site had a mention on a BBC radio station and shown on Channel 4 UK in the same weekend. And it's just Eric sound asleep in a big, cozy flannel bed with completely bare walls. He's just like, he could not care less. It's very funny. I'm on like going to be on some other news program after this, and I'm like, I couldn't even tell you what it is, man. I don't care. It's like when that text exchange between Matt Berry and one of his friends, and his friend's like, hey man, I know you're not on Twitter, but like you're a trending topic on Twitter. Everybody's like talking about you and everything that you've done. Like it's a whole thing. All day people are talking about you. But he was just like, I see no money from this. Like I don't get paid for this. I don't care. Yeah. But anyways, yeah, okay. Unsung heroes of the web, and it's just another silly picture of him. So he's like in print magazines.
And so this photo, there's a funny story behind it. This is Entertainment Weekly. They when they rented a studio did a whole photo shoot for this. They had makeup and costumes, everything. And the picture in the article is from a photo booth that they took when they were out going to lunch.
Yeah, so, that's so funny.
Yeah, just when stuff like that happens, fun to look at that. Yeah. And,
it's funny that like everybody loves seeing behind the scenes photos and backstage and candid stuff and all that. But then if you're behind the scenes and backstage and hanging out with people and in a candid environment and you take out your camera, you're an asshole. But it's just a funny thing that everybody loves seeing it, but nobody loves to be there when it's happening.
Fun detail about this, I'll read the quote. It says, during the height of Emotion Eric's popularity from 2000 to 2003, Eric's parents didn't know about his website. They only found out later when a relative told them about it. According to Eric, they described his website to others along the lines of, he goes on the internet and he makes a face. It's clear they were proud of it, Eric said, but they weren't exactly sure what it was. All they knew was that other people liked it, and that was good enough.
Yeah, I mean, that's fine. My mom probably doesn't know the first fucking thing about what I've been doing for the past 15 years, but, you know, it is what it is, you know, so it goes.
All right.
And I do like that it's a good summary of whatever it is that he does. I mean, like, it's kind of irreducible.
Yeah. And the site actually got so famous that people were approaching him on the street and, like, asking, not just recognizing, but like asking him to do emotions for them, and he didn't want to do that. So as a compromise, he printed up business cards, and if people came up to him, he would give them the business card, be like, okay, so it's like a little keepsake.
Oh, that's fun. Yeah.
And it's pretty clever because the business card is a picture of him handing you the actual business card with his name, and the business card is just that with emotion. Eric conveys an emotion on the side.
That's cool. Yeah, good for him.
Yeah, very conceptual, and he still has them. Yeah.
Oh, good for him. God, yeah. No, he's just a handsome man. Oh, he's fit as fuck, dude. He's got some pipes on him.
Yeah, he got pretty hunky.
Yeah.
And we have you have a long section, not a long section, but there's a couple of him talking about some of the fun stuff that happened running the site. We can alternate reading these if you want.
Oh, wow. Eric once received an email from Eminem thanking him for making a website that made his daughter Haley happy. He told Eric to get in touch with his management if he ever wanted to see one of his concerts, an offer Eric never took up since he wasn't sure if the email was actually from Eminem. Today he thinks that it probably was. It's harder to be sure of these things in the pre-social media era.
One female fan emailed Eric almost every day for a few months with messages along the lines of, "I love you and we should get married."
Yeah, that makes sense. A lot of people offered me sex. Eric never took up the offers.
Teachers using his photos in language classes and therapists using his photos to teach emotions to kids with autism.
He received complimentary tickets to see the Blue Man Group during a trip in Las Vegas. All it cost him was a smidge of awkwardness before the start of the show when, without his knowledge, there is a screen in the theater playing a segment listing famous people in the audience. Eric was listed as one of the famous people. I mean, nobody knew who I was, he said. Yeah, yes, I understand. As someone who has been described as a worldwide celebrity, I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm nobody.
And so he got a job out of college from the site, despite leaving it off of his resume when he was job hunting. He was like, it doesn't really have anything to do with what I want to do, even though one of his things is designing websites. But yeah. Well, here we have a quote from him. We could do. So it goes. Soon after he graduated, he received an email from the CEO of a business IT startup called Everdream. In the email, the CEO told Eric he was a fan of his website and offered to fly Eric to the Everdream office in California for an interview. It wasn't even really an interview. It was more, what job do you want? Eric attempted to treat it like an interview, describing his skills and internship experience, as well as offering his resume and referrals as proof of his competency. But Everdream had probably made their decision to hire him before he stepped into their office. So, just like, hey, we think we're funny, you want to work for us. And then also he got to do some fun workplace ones because of that.
Yeah, what Eric looks like on his first day at his new job, and it's just he's on the ground holding his head, fetal position. What Eric looks like on the second day of his new job, and everybody's completely in love with him, and they're trying to kiss him. Eric caught downloading pornography at work, and can you see if he's actually, is there like a secondary gag?
Yeah, it looks like it's just actual like a porn site,
like early porn site. Okay, and then I am better than you, and I have more money, and it's just Eric pointing at a child. He's sitting on the ground. Yeah, so all these are very funny.
Yeah, and then in 2004 he got a job at Yahoo. And there's this very fun picture. He made a Halloween mask of his own face, and there's all of his coworkers with the Emotion Eric mask, and then him right in the middle.
Yeah. I've seen variations of this where like everybody in the audience has the same face from like some random person that they pick out. Yeah, so he gets a job at Yahoo as a front-end engineer on Yahoo Personals. A few years later, he moved on to a team called Yahoo for Good that worked on philanthropic projects unrelated to the business. His last position was running Yahoo's internal and external hack program, hack as in creative problem solving and innovation, not breaking into computers. In 2011, he quit his job, sold all of his stuff, and moved to New York City for the hell of it. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because he had to move to go be with Everdream. So New York seems like the next best bet.
Yeah, so now we have unemployed.
Unemployed, and it says, will emote for food. And he's standing by the road looking very, very desperate. I'm sure there's a second joke in there too, but yeah.
Yeah, and also because he was so busy with his job stuff, the site wasn't updating as much. So one of them are, where are the updates? In all caps. It's just him like screaming and shaking his fist.
Yeah, I mean, there's only once you have done this for long enough, it just takes so much more.
All right, yeah,
to keep this going. Yeah.
Yeah. And so the final emotion that Eric conveyed is Eric is a chick magnet, which is shot at Comic-Con in 2006, 8 years after it started.
Yeah, dude, I remember this one. He's just like striking this very arms open, godlike pose, looking up like, behold my power. And it's just all of these like Comic-Con women who are holding onto the railings of the stairs around him, and they're like stretching their legs and arms out at him as if he is like literally a magnet for chicks. And there's one in the background who seems like she's really falling towards him. So this is all very fun. And it's like he could have done it in like a kind of a grosser, more sexist way, but he just took, with the exception of the Ricky Martin one, everything that he was given, he just turned it into something funny and sweet, and he didn't try to be anything too edgy or gross or whatever. Yeah, he's just being silly, and it's rare to see someone consistently just being silly.
Yeah, I was very pleasantly surprised. Like the only really problematic thing I found was like one of the adventures was a very basic man in a dress joke about them at a bar, but you know, as was the style at the time. It's not like exceptionally hateful.
Just what.
Other than that, it's just all very cute and silly. And now we both knew most of this. Now's the fun part. We get to find out what the timeline of Eric's post-website life. So, in 2011, Eric quit Yahoo, sells his stuff, moves to New York City with no long-term plan nor potential job. After finding an apartment in Brooklyn, he starts working at the newly opened ice cream shop Ample Hills and soon becomes their general manager. Also works as a hackathon consultant. So he's a hacker ice cream man. What a cool, what a cool confluence.
I wonder why he got away. I mean, like, eventually, obviously, got into the hackathon thing, but, like, I wonder if just working in computers was just such a pain. And well, now we know where he got his fucking forearms, man, because he's scooping ice cream. That shit will make your forearms crazy. And, like, next time you're at the ice cream store, talk to the 16-year-old boy scooping your cone, and look at his forearms, because they are vascular. Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah. 2013, adopts the best dog ever, Zelda, such a good girl. And just maybe think there's one called Mauled by a Dog, and it's him with his mouth in Pluto's head at a Disney World.
Yeah.
Assuming that's when he was in California. Yeah.
I imagine, yeah. In
2014, he leaves Ample Hills because ice cream money can only take you so far. And then in 2015, he becomes the executive director of tech education nonprofit Hack NY, which is still extant. Like, it's still running. They're still doing events and everything. And here we go. Here's his profile.
Look at him.
Yeah, look at him. Look at all our boys all grown up.
Yeah, that's great. Good for him.
Yeah, his little bio here. Eric is the former executive director at Hack NY. Eric is a business and strategy operations consultant focused on innovation, working with medium and large companies. And he's also, this is still up on their website. Like, he's still listed on the staff page, like, as the former director. So, like, he's somebody who has a legacy there.
That's good. And yeah, it also says that he used to work in an ice cream shop. And
New York's number one ice cream shop.
Oh, not bad.
Yeah, and also, like, I felt like the most recent update was, like, back in August, they had the newest class of 2025 fellows. Like, this is still going. And it's cool, yeah, I'm glad people have that. And so in 2018, he leaves Hack New York, and he travels around Europe and the U.S. for a few months. Then 2019, he chills out with his dog while figuring out what to do next, which catches us up to the time of Robin Lee's interview. And so this is around. I found this is. He doesn't post very much. He does have a Twitter account that's been inactive for a number of years. But I found here's him in line for the Colbert Report around this time. You can see another picture of him.
Yeah, just looking like a real hunk, dreamboat.
Yeah. And of course, he's in this interview. They asked him about the site, and he said that he's not going to bring it back because it's a relic of its time, and he's not that person anymore. I have a quote from him if you want to read that.
Wait, was he on the Colbert Report?
No, he was in the audience.
He was just on the, okay. If I do something crappy, then the internet will say, oh, I remember that. It was better the first time. He's old now. What happened? And that's true. I mean, like, every time they try to bring, I mean, not every time, but a lot of times when somebody tries to, like, return to the form of the original shit that they were doing, it doesn't stick and it kind of falls the fuck apart.
Yeah.
Because, you're a completely different person now. It's like if I tried to go back to taking, like, goth photos, it'd be like, who is this, like, old man? I'm doing it differently now, but I'm not really in the photos, so it's different.
Yeah. And so then on April 11th, 2020, Markiplier, the popular YouTuber, did a video called We Found Websites That the World Forgot About, and he exposed Emotion Eric to a whole new generation. So Eric brought the act back one last time. So I found this from his Twitter back in 2020. He says, what the heck is a Markiplier? Yeah. Is that the thing used to cut the red wax off a whiskey bottle? Is the camera zooming in while he looks very, like, thoughtful?
Yeah, Again, what a hunk. Yeah, that's so funny. And also, Markiplier made a video about weird bumper stickers that they've seen in the wild, and that's the first place, well, it's one of the first places where my Gatorade should be thicker sticker blew well the fuck up. And so, like, I have had people be like, oh, you got this from Markiplier. I'm like, no, Markiplier got this from me. Yeah.
Yeah. And also, he did a follow-up then. He goes, just kidding. Thanks for the love. Glad you enjoyed the site. I look forward to your destruction in 7 months. And that's because the project they were doing was this thing where after a year they were going to delete all the videos, which is why, unfortunately, I don't have comments from the original upload about people reacting to this. It's all been deleted.
Yeah, I see stuff for that constantly. The Unus Annus project, which I don't know exactly what it was, but Markiplier was doing like a video a day for a year, and you had to watch them within that year, because at the stroke of midnight they deleted everything. And I'm sure people like downloaded and did all that stuff, and I'm sure you can watch them somewhere, but like as they were in the original format, you will never see them again. And it was this, I don't know what the videos were, and I don't know Markiplier or anything like that, but we live in a world that is like, we built the perfect machine of community, and it has isolated us more than ever before. World of Warcraft, where you made friends and got married, and you had like this whole life on the internet, and then all of that has turned into like, you have 10 trillion friends, and you don't know anybody's name, and everybody's getting banned and suspended, and you don't know who anybody is anymore. And like, all of that to say, I can appreciate the goals of Unus Annus.
Yeah. Even if it did interfere in this one particular instant, I guess that's what art is. Sometimes you have to make sacrifices. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's very Dada.
Yeah, and that's the last I could find of him online. He wasn't very active on Twitter before that, and I can't really find anything else for him. So yeah, I guess that's basically it. The only, I guess, in terms of like a wrap up, since I couldn't find young people reacting to it, I guess I'll turn it around. Like, this was kind of humbling. So I guess it's like, next time you want to complain about kids on TikTok being into some dumb, unsophisticated thing, just remember that when we were their age, we thought one of the funniest things online was he goes on the internet and he makes a face. Like, that's part of it. Sometimes silly stuff is fine.
Anytime that you want to pass judgment on something the kids these days are into, just scan back to when you were their age, and for sure you were not like smoking a corncob pipe and reading the classics. You were doing some dumb shit. And just like, I don't know if you've read that article of about like gooning, or like weird gooner fetish stuff. It was in Harper's. It was all over I
didn't,
Twitter.
but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, and like, I'm sure there's aspects of specifically gooning that are problematic. I believe in the phenomena of brain rot. I don't believe that it is medical quantifiable, but some of the descriptors of just like, these people are watching this sexual content, and it's melting their brains, and it's sinful, and it's like, it's unlike the good things that are like reading articles on Harper's. And it to me, I was like, there's a lot of this article that was very interesting and well put together, but then there's kind of a certain moralistic aspect to it where I'm just like, you would have said the same thing about Elvis, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
If you didn't know that furries were a whole thing, and the first time you saw fur porn or a furry in real life, you'd be like, what is this depravity? This like this is melting our brains. People think that they're actually dogs.
Yeah, like that is, because the gooner thing is kind of like the sissy hypno thing, where a part of it is like leaning into the whole thing about like, like the brain rot, like you're saying, that's like part of it. I don't want to say that they're fake, but it's like a part of the thing they're playing up. It's part of the thing. So like when people see it from the outside and just take it at face value and are like, oh no, they, like, I don't know that much about it, but yeah, like, yeah. Then also, the moralizing, I get what you mean about the moralizing. I kind of had something similar to that, where this article was going around about like this TSA video game, and the person writing it just it's like very obviously a clickbait outrage game, and the person writing it used it to just rant and rave about how like people who make cozy games are stupid. And it's just like, I don't know, man, you fell for the clickbait. You're not convincing me here.
Yeah. What I've learned in my time on the internet is that, like, if something is provoking a strong emotional response to you, 90% of the time it's to sell you something, and it's also not true. There's real stuff that deserves your emotions, but I'm not saying you need to be like a stoic, deadened to the world. This is what trans people actually believe. Anytime you see an article like that, or like, this is, can you believe this, like, crazy thing that this race activist said? And it's like, it's taken out of fucking context, or it's just like one person misspoke, and like, what was it, like AOC said DeWitt instead of Deloitte, and they're just like, she doesn't know the first thing of what she's talking, she used the wrong company name. It's like, come on, man, have you ever spoken before? You know?
Yeah, a recent one with Mamdami is they were like, he called his female relative his auntie, but she isn't actually his aunt. Why did you lie to us?
Yeah. I know, and like my quote tweet on that was just like, breaking, Zoran Mamdani said, "Look at what the cat dragged in to a person who wasn't dragged in by a cat. What else is he lying to us about?" It makes me think of the Brian Regan joke. I like to see these ads where they're just like, you know, they'll just be describing a politician where there's like, he voted to give himself a pay raise, and they turn him to a devil, like, and he's just like, well, yeah, but I mean, wouldn't any of us, if given the opportunity, vote to give ourselves a pay raise? He's like, he wanted to have more money to provide for his family. You know, it's just like, fucking do the Nick Cage thing. When Nick Cage gets a script, he removes all of the punctuation so that he can put it where it goes, right? Or where he's going to have his character say it. He doesn't want to get bossed around by punctuation. Whether or not that works is a different thing. But just read information free of the tone and the context of like the devil face that they're trying to put on whatever politician, and you'll get so much more out of your life that is not shit that's going to make you mad. You know, that's all. Go on the internet and make a face. That's all we can say. You know, man.
Hell yeah. No, like, we just did the bonus episode trilogy on Jennifer Murphy, so it feels really good to see someone who was just happy to be famous for a little bit and then go on and do other stuff with it instead of trying to make it their entire life.
Yeah, Jesus Christ. Yeah, if you're not on the Patreon, boy fucking howdy. I don't know if the Jennifer Murphy stuff will be out by the time that this is out, but that one is nuts. We are talking about one woman's life. It is a triple part, just a nightmare. That one drained me.
It was a real endurance match for Winslow by the end.
It was an endurance match because I had to keep reading quotes from this person, reading what she said, and the way that she wrote it. She's a white woman, and just reading what she was saying makes you sound like you're doing a racist voice. And so it's just this fucking minefield, man. Yeah, I don't know. It's a good listen. If you're not on the Patreon, it's just $1. Please check it out. You know, and also, you know, we ask every time, open up your iTunes app, open up your podcast app, whatever you do. If you're on Spotify, give us a star rating, give us a review. It actually helps get our name out there. Tell your friends about us. Fucking do what you can. We're little guys, and we'd love to have your help. You know.
Cool. Yeah. Well,
is that all for you?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, the only other thing I had a little note here about, like, you know, basically about the value of soft power that you get from internet fame as opposed to hard power. Like, usually when people talk about internet fame, it's in terms of, like, getting money or whatever. But this is, like, more like, no, when people think you're funny or interesting because of the internet, that opens doors for you. It gives you opportunities. Like, I'm kind of doing that in a weird, like, my entire life now is basically built on stuff that came out of that Twitter account. Like, that's how I met Fred. That's how I met you. Like, yeah, it's, you know, I didn't get rich off of it, but I mean, I've gotten rich off of it in non-monetary ways, and it's been very fulfilling.
Yeah, you got a place to stay, you know, you got food in your belly, you know, you got a big old jug of antifreeze you're sipping on, you know, you're doing shit. Yeah, I mean, like, my whole life is that too. I make jokes on the internet, people laugh and give me money, so it is a good time to be on the internet, and that's one of the most important things for me is just like, I don't want gobs of cash to, like, command and control the world. I don't want a big-ass house. I don't want any of that shit. That's just a pain in the ass. What I want to do is I want to find people who have not been as fortunate as me and give them the attention and give them the help that they deserve. And, like, finding the smaller creators and uplifting them is really, really important to me, you know? So, yeah. All good stuff, man. We had 2 episodes in a row of people that we don't think should be in prison. That's a fucking really good for us.
Yeah, I'm really enjoying these feel-good episodes. It's unfortunately it's going to come crashing down soon, but you know, for now we get to enjoy these fun ones.
Yeah. Well, if you have any suggestions for us, if you have any reader questions, we're definitely looking for some questions for you, for me and Jay about the pod, about our lives, about anything like that. And I'll put something on my stories later today about that. But yeah, that's what we have for you today. And we do have a thing after our plugs where we talk about some recommendations that we're going through. And but before we do that, we do have to say, email us at iftipod@gmail.com. One topic per response per email, and please include the topic in the subject so that they can be organized. Your questions, your suggestions. We do have a list of new episodes we're trying to do. It's quite long, so please submit your ideas to that so we can start chipping away at that.
And for the listener response call, if you want to do a listener response, we have Eric Conveys an Emotion this episode. Future ones are going to be Kratom from the Crackhead Clubhouse, Mark Mitsubishi, and Alex Chu's Immortality Devices. So are going to be learning the secret to immortality.
Perfect. Yeah. Well, as always, you can find me at winslowdomain.com. You can still get a copy of The Restless as well as all of the other things that I'm making. You can get everything there. I'm on Twitter at winslowdomain and Instagram at calculations. And if you want to know more about my next game called Project Zersetzung right now, it's going to have a different name later. Please check it out there. I've got some very helpful friends in the Discord who are helping me get a lot of documents from different academic sources and some government sources that are going to be very helpful in putting it all together. So thank you to Avery on helping me get all those lined up. And that's all for me. Where can they find you, Jay?
I'm Jay Brandstetter on Blue Sky. That's about it these days. And my Discord.
Cool. Well, that's kind of it. But what you got a rec? You got a rec of some kind?
Yeah, I got a rec. I got this game on clearance a little while ago. I've been having fun with. It's called Thief Simulator. It's a few years old, and it's there aren't very many games I play like this. It's a stealth game, but it is just about thievery. It's like you case out people's houses, like you kind of gang stalk them, like you sneak in their windows and figure out their schedules, like when the house is going to be empty or like when one person's going to be there. Mm-hmm. And it's a part of it is like you can only carry so much. Big things, you got to carry them out to your car. It's a very interesting and fun, and it escalates nicely. Like you start out like breaking into empty houses to steal pots and pans, and now I'm in like the rich person neighborhood and I'm grabbing like fine paintings and vases and such.
Yeah, I wouldn't know anything about gang stalking or thieving things. I don't know. That's never been a part of my life. I've never done any of that. There's not any recorded history of me doing anything like that. But no, that does sound fun. And it also sounds like it could either have very moody graphics or it could be very cute.
It's a kind of janky Polish game, so it has that kind of like it's like realistic, but it's not like very super high fidelity. Like it was like in 2018 game, I think. So it's not like it looks fine. It works. It runs well on my computer. So.
Central Europe puts out some fucking interesting games, man. We talked about it in the last episode. Darkwood 2 just got announced. That looks fucking dope. Like it's so funny that like when Stalker 2 was announced, I'm like, these graphics are insane. The gunplay is going to be nuts. It's going to be so tight and so fun. Obviously, the reality is a little bit different. I still think it's good, but people were really hoping for something else. And, you know, when Grand Theft Auto 6 is being talked about, they're like, you can see the thumbprints of the individual hands that have touched the stripper pole because it's a clean metal. That's where your thumbprints would be. And, like, who cares about literally any of that? And so then when Darkwood 2 comes out, I'm like, oh, fuck yeah. It still looks like shit. And you get, like, you're clearly getting attacked by wild dogs. Fuck, this is exactly what I want. Just, it looks fun. It looks brutal. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't really played too much beyond Vampire Survivors, picking around at that. I played a tiny bit of Binding of Isaac because I've been watching some Northern Lion streams lately. So my only recommendation, I would say, if I can suggest, go listen to the album Takak, Takkak, Takkak, 2 words. It's a self-titled album by the band Takak. It rocks. It's so good. It's not metal. It is prolific Berlin-based Japanese producer Shigeru Ishihara, also known as Scotch Rolex, and Vilnius-based Indonesian composer Muang Santosho Prabadi. And they put together this like really intense, very multi-instrumental, overwhelming series of sounds that makes you feel like you're on a hunt in a jungle. And it's really good. It's one of my favorite records. I wish they put it out on vinyl. Yeah, I got that. My other recommendation is just be nice to me, for the love of God. Please for the world to be nice to me. But yeah, that's what we got. I'm From the Internet is created by jaybrandstetter and Winslow Domain. Edited by Steve Brown. Music by Steve Isbrook. I don't know what I'm doing. Well, I'm gonna go.